Interesting. All right. What do you think a win would mean for the 49ers? It would be improbable. It would be a big upset. It would be on the road. I mean, what would it mean for the team, for certain individuals?
Right. And I think this is where finally, I think 49ers fans who probably hate me already for everything I say are going to say, okay, Parker, finally bringing some optimism. If they win this game, I think like all of a sudden it gets interesting because the NFC's wide open. You just went on the road to beat Philadelphia. That's impressive in itself. No matter, even if
Mhm.
Philadelphia, craps all over themselves and Hurts throws picks, you look at yourselves and say, we faced a tough defense. Hopefully Brock Purdy played well against that good defense. And you look around and say, Seattle and the Rams are two of the best teams left. We beat Seattle. We beat the Rams. Okay. I know that the last two times we played them, we lost to them, but we have wins against both of them on the schedule. We know Sam Darnold, and I'm Kyle Shanahan, and I own Sean McVay for the most part, especially in the playoffs. He's typically under that NFC championship game, but he's usually had his number in a lot of these big moments. So if you're the 49ers, you say, we just proved we can win on the road. We're going to get healthier after this game. We know we can beat the two biggest contenders in the NFC. Like this thing is wide open for us. And now let's go to Seattle and let's go get our revenge. And let's say, can you beat us 2 times in 3 weeks? Because that's harder to do than you think it is. So if I'm the 49ers, I think a win opens the doors. Whereas, yeah, like I'm not expecting a win, but I think if they do pull one off, you start to say, hey, what can this team do? Because Philadelphia was the Super Bowl champions. And, really Stafford's the only quarterback with like actual experience left behind Hurts, who, if you beat Hurts, then you say, okay, we've beat Stafford before. We know how to do this. So who knows?
It's true. If they go in there and beat the Eagles and the offense looks good, maybe you say, well, they didn't have Trent Williams against the Seahawks, and you kind of need Trent Williams against the elite defenses. And now he's back, and maybe if they only gave up 13 points, maybe they can go into Seattle and beat them again because they already did. I mean, you can have all those type of discussions. Not just that, like not do they just vault themselves into Super Bowl contention again, but I think for like legacies, it would be big
Right.
for Brock. I,
Yes.
th- I think it'd be really big for Brock. It might be the most impressive win of his career. I know he won an NFC championship game. He had some big scrambles in that game and that incredible throw off the guy's face, but
I think this might
it
be,
was
yeah.
the Lions. They're not champions, and they kind of beat themselves in that game by going away from the run. I don't want to make excuse, but like it's the Lions. These are the Eagles. The Eagles
Right.
are more accomplished than the 49. They're actually champion. They're the defending champions. And if Brock can go in there and sort of put the team on his back
Right.
without Ricky Pearsall and with like a slightly, injured George Kittle and an older Christian McCaffrey, that's really freaking impressive. Because the last time he went into Philly, it just fell apart immediately. Not that it was his fault, but
Right.
he wasn't a hero. He would be the hero in this game.
Right. And yeah, they were big favorites on the road against the Lions. And it was like, wow, the Lions might pull this upset off versus now you're the underdogs on the road trying to pull this off. So I do think, I mean, if you pull this off and you're Brock Purdy, and that's why I think if you're the 49ers, you think back and say, we can go as far as this thing, as far as we want to go, because now we know our quarterback can win on the road against a Vic Fangio defense. That does, in my opinion, kind of open the door of, okay, now that we have a quarterback who can pull things like this off,
Mm-hmm.
now we have something that, like I said, Sam Darnold hasn't done that before, So now they're the 1 seed, but we have a quarterback who a lot of people are going to say he's shown more than Sam Darnold, or Sam Darnold has rode this defense, or those sort of things. So yeah, I mean, it's by far the biggest game for Brock Purdy. And then, like you said, I think second place is Robert Saleh. I think if he shuts down the Eagles, it's like, which job does he want? Does he want to go to the Ravens and all those things? Is because it would just be, a lot of people would be really impressed, especially if he does something different. And you say, wow, Saleh with his undermanned unit completely threw a curveball when you didn't expect it. And Kevin Patullo looked like they fired Kevin Patullo 8 hours after the game because it was so bad. That's the sort of like that. Robert Saleh could be a huge person.
That's true. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, now that Mike McDaniel's available, I feel like Salah's more desirable because that's like an obvious pairing. But
Yeah.
who knows? The Eagles could fire Kevin Patillo immediately after they lose to the Niners and hire Mike McDaniel before
Yes.
Salah gets a chance. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, a win would be very interesting. It could kind of fracture the Eagles, which is a big opponent or a big rival in
Yeah.
the NFC, and yeah, it'd be interesting.